Growing up as a member of the royal family has no shortage of perks, but there are some definite downsides. It's easy to focus on the rules the adults have to follow, but their children have their own restrictions growing up as royalty. We'll let you know about some of the strictest demands placed on these kids and why you'll rarely see Prince George wearing pants in public. Before we begin, make sure to click on the subscribe button and ring the gray bell for the latest videos from TheTalko. Dress code. While his mother Kate Middleton is known for being a fashion icon, Prince George has his own fashion rules to follow. If you follow the royal family, you probably notice that you tend to see him constantly wearing shorts. The royal family is held to a high standard when it comes to clothes, and pants on young boys are traditionally considered mundane. This obviously won't do for the royal family, so young boys are required to wear shorts. All royal children are expected to follow traditional standards when it comes to fashion, just like the adults in the family. You definitely won't be seeing any of these kids sporting graphic t-shirts or other items of casual clothing while out and about. It's the goal of the royal family to look timeless, and even the kids have to dress with this goal in mind. Gifts. When a new baby arrives, it's hard to resist buying them all sorts of expensive toys and clothes for them to rapidly grow out of. So you can only imagine just how many gifts the royal children receive when they're born. By the time Prince George turned 1, he had already received 706 official presents. But that's still far less than his father, Prince William. When he was born, he set the record for gifts received by getting 4,200 presents just for being born. Needless to say, there are a lot of rules about accepting gifts. All of these presents technically belong to the crown, so the queen gets to decide what is kept. And unfortunately for the kids, the queen doesn't accept unsolicited gifts for her grandchildren. Instead, these gifts are packaged up and given to charity. How regal. Tiara. Many young children relish the time-honored tradition of pretending to be a princess. But if you're an actual princess, the rules of dress-up are remarkably different. At royal weddings or other momentous events, it's not unusual for women to wear elaborate tiaras. These accessories are often resplendent with historical significance as well as jewels. But there are very specific rules about who can wear tiaras, and this means Princess Charlotte won't be donning one anytime soon. In order for a woman in the royal family to wear a tiara, she must either be married or it must be her wedding day. Tiaras were traditionally meant to symbolize the loss of innocence and the crowning of love, and the royal family still honors this tradition. Hues. In addition to only wearing formal clothing in public, there are rules concerning what shades the kids can be seen in. First of all, it's important for families to coordinate when seen together in public. You'll notice that Kate Middleton and the kids are always well coordinated, while Prince William can get away with just wearing a matching tie. The Queen is known for always wearing blindingly bright outfits, and there's a specific reason for this. It helps boost her visibility and lets the people easily see and recognize her. She once remarked that if she wore beige, many people would fail to recognize her. In order to let their grandmother shine, children in the royal family wear shades which aren't quite as bright as the ones favored by the Queen. Social media. This won't be a big deal for a few more years yet, but Prince George will soon be old enough to start having accounts on social media. But unfortunately, you won't be able to follow him on Instagram because of a very strict rule. Members of the royal family are not allowed to have public social media accounts. They do have formal, carefully curated social media accounts for fans to keep up with. Prince Charles and Duchess Camilla post to the Clarence House account, while Prince William, Duchess Kate, Prince Harry, and Duchess Meghan all post to the Kensington Palace account. When Meghan Markle got engaged to Prince Harry, it caused quite a stir when she shut down her very active social media accounts, as well as her lifestyle website, Tig. But children growing up in the royal family will never know the joy of posting selfies on social media. Gestures. When raising children, it's important to teach them how to be polite in social situations. Of course, royal children are required to learn these protocols as well, but their expectations go above and beyond those of most children. Even something as simple as waving has many rules which must be followed. The children must perform a Windsor wave in various social situations, which differs slightly from a traditional hand waving. It's much more subdued and dignified, and children are expected to master it at a pretty young age. Female royal children have an extra gesture they must learn, and that is performing a perfect curtsy. There are many situations which require a demure curtsy, and even the adult Meghan Markle has found it to be confusing at times. Seating arrangements. There are so many rules of etiquette the royal family is expected to follow that it can be hard to keep track, and these rules are all the more important during a fancy dinner party. It's not unusual for kids to sit at their own tables during such events, but you might find it surprising that royal children follow this rule as well. They're not allowed to sit with adults, and the reason why is pretty surprising. Essentially, since children that young still struggle with the art of polite conversation, they're relegated to their own table. There's definitely an art to scintillating yet proper dinner conversation, and until the kids can master it, they aren't allowed to sit with their family during events. May sound a bit unkind, but we're guessing the children probably prefer it this way. Language. There may be a lot of rules to learn when you're growing up in the royal family, but there are also a ton of benefits. Members of the royal family travel extensively, even at a very young age. Because they're expected to interact with people all over the world, it's imperative that children in the royal family learn to speak multiple languages. At a very young age, children are introduced to various languages and expected to eventually master them. The Queen speaks fluent French, as are Prince William and Kate Middleton. During one anti-poaching commercial, Prince William and Prince Charles showed off being able to speak Spanish, Mandarin, Vietnamese, Arabic, and Swahili. For now, Prince George and Princess Charlotte are working on learning Spanish. Passport. Even the littlest members of the royal family are required to have passports and bring them when they travel internationally. They even have to pay the fee and fill out paperwork, just like the rest of us. There is one member of the royal family who is exempt from this rule, and that is Queen Elizabeth herself. All British passports are issued in the name of Her Majesty, so it wouldn't really make sense for the Queen to issue herself a passport. Apparently, one of the many benefits of being Queen is not having to double-check that you've packed your passport on the way to the airport. Being prepared. Being seen in public without a proper all-black morning outfit would be considered a serious breach of etiquette. So when the royal family takes off for vacation, everyone is required to pack a proper morning outfit in case someone passes while they're away. It seems like this might put a damper on packing for vacation, but forgetting this outfit could be disastrous. This happened to Queen Elizabeth once when her father, King George VI, passed away and she forgot to pack a black outfit. She was forced to wait on her plane for an appropriate outfit to be delivered before she could show her face in public. Christmas. Members of the royal family are expected to spend the holiday with the royal side of the family, and there are many other rules to be followed. The family opens their gifts on Christmas Eve because they have many things to do on Christmas morning. The children are required to attend church service at St. Mary Magdalene Church. The royal family has been attending this church since Queen Victoria started the tradition back in the 16th century. You might be wondering just what kind of gifts royalty exchange with one another. The answer is, they take pleasure in giving one another gag gifts. Before Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were married, Kate Middleton once gave him a Grow Your Own Girlfriend kit. They may be royal, but they still have a great sense of humor. Security. There are many things taken seriously by the royal family, and one of them is safety. The adult members of the royal family are required to have security detail, and the children are as well. This becomes a big deal when it's time for school to start. To make things even more complicated, Prince George and Princess Charlotte go to different schools. Sure, the kids have their standard security guards, but heading out for a day of class requires different guards and a different protocol. They even take a different route to school each and every day just to make sure they aren't followed. Pose. Even when the royal children are sitting still, they're still observing traditional royal etiquette. Posture is an extremely important part of their lives, and they're taught to sit and stand with a perfectly straight spine. When they stand, they are to do so with their legs shoulder-width apart from the moment they first learn how to stand up. Princess Charlotte has additional rules to follow as a girl when it's time to sit down. She's not allowed to cross her legs, but may cross her ankles. Most royal women prefer to sit with their knees pressed together and tilted slightly to the side. It's known as the Duchess slant, and you can see royal women sitting in this position frequently. Vocabulary. Some words we don't even think twice about using are simply not said by the royal family. They aren't allowed to use apologetic words such as pardon or sorry. It's also considered unacceptable to use the term perfume, and they must instead remark on what scent they prefer. And no matter how high you are on the royal family tree, you must not ever use the word posh to describe something. Apparently, it's considered the epitome of lower class to call something posh. Instead, they prefer to use the term smart. Weddings. Children are expected to attend the same events their parents do and often have important roles in royal weddings. During royal weddings, there are usually many young bridesmaids, flower girls, and page boys during the ceremony. To add even more pressure to the situation, royal weddings are enormous and highly televised events. This makes it even more imperative that all the children be on their absolute best behavior. Although children at weddings do have the potential to cause mischief, they certainly do look adorable in these royal wedding photos. What do you think about the rules the royal kids are expected to follow? Do you think they're fair expectations, or are they just too much? Let us know what you think in the comments section, and then click on the subscribe button for more videos from TheTalko. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.